Good afternoon, you lovely lot. At the moment, I seem to be spending all of my time saying good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, instead of good morning, good morning, good morning. I seem to be a bit slack on starting up the vlogs. But Kenzie's making a cake, so if you hear whisking and what have you, that is him. In fact, I might just close the door. There we go. Right. Just close the door. You might have noticed this chair has changed from my deck chair. Not that you can see it under the blanket. Kenzie got a second-hand desk chair from one of the free village sites. One of the neighbours was getting rid of it, and so he's given me his old chair from his bedroom, which is a bit more comfy. I'm enjoying my goose mug. Sorry, the dogs are bopping me. What do I need to share with you? It's been ages since I've actually properly vlogged. I think last weekend I might have vlogged, did I? I think that was that when I did? Was that bank holiday weekend? I think it was bank holiday weekend. It's been a sweet hot minute since I've actually chatted with you properly. Thank you very much for all of the positive comments with regards to my thought process on setting up the coaching. I was quite nervous about sharing it because I appreciate that I pet sit, I do pop-ins, you know, I've trained for the Reiki, and I do my Joseph job, and I do my job sometimes on the Saturday doing the other care work, and I know that it seems like a lot of things, and that, oh, you've got some lettuce, and people might think like, why do you do so many things? And I get that, but this is something, like I've said, that is sort of future proofing, that is not so physical, and it's going to take a while to set up. I need to build trust with people that I know what I'm talking about. I need to make connections. The weird thing is, so I've really pushed LinkedIn, because part of what I want to do is support menopause in the workplace and get management supporting menopause in the workplace. So you need to be on a real businessy platform. So I've had to get my head around LinkedIn, which I've had for years and years, but like I'm really having to push it now. And I'm doing the free trial, which means I've got access to loads of things, and you're more visible, can make more connections. And the minute I changed to the coaching, or put that as like predominantly what I want to sell myself as, oh good Lord, I didn't know that this funneling was a thing, an automated funneling service to, I don't 100% know what it is, but I've been bombarded by connections and messages, emails and stuff from companies, mainly based in India, that want to set me up with a funneling system, which from what I understand is making your interactions more streamlined. So it's getting automated sales into your coaching. I can see the benefit of it, but quite honestly, one, I don't have the money to set that up. That may be something I want to do later on, but I think it loses the personal touch, because what I've noticed is, as I'm answering some of these messages just out of querying, I feel like I'm speaking to a bot. I don't feel like I'm speaking to a human, which means their funneling's not working. Because if they're a funneling system, they're not going to answer every single. I think what they're doing is they're sending out messages to any hashtags with certain words, and coaching seems to be one of the words. So I spoke to ChatGPT, because me and AI are good friends, and I had a conversation with ChatGPT about who do I need to contact? What are the business titles of people I need to contact to be able to go down that route of dealing with companies and talking with management about how to support their staff, retain their staff, not lose that valuable, years of experience and years of knowledge, and the people that have got, what's the word I'm looking for? See, it's the stuff I need to figure out before I pitch. people who've got that reputation and that connection and relationship with people within other businesses that these companies work for. So, you know, you've got your staff base, they've made up lots of connections with their clients, they've got a rapport, that is the word. They've got rapport with their clients, they've got trust base, and then because of menopause, these women leave, or they feel like they're pushed out. So it costs a lot of money for these companies to then train people up and to, you know, hire staff, go through the whole training process and the hiring process, and when actually they could just support their employee, value them for what they've brought to the company over all these years and what they still have to offer, and then go with it. Just give them a little bit of leeway while they're going through what they're going through, and until they find a new norm. So yeah, ChatGPT basically told me I needed to speak to wellness directors, HR for companies, management, CEOs, that sort of thing. So I'm making connections all over the place with my free trial, left, right and centre. And I've got a chat tomorrow with a guy who I've made it very clear I am not in a position to purchase any type of support system, but he is somebody that I was actually looking at thinking his stuff looked quite interesting. So I'm going to have a chat with him on Monday afternoon. We're going to do a Zoom chat, and I've made it really clear that I made the connection with him, it wasn't the other way around, that I am not interested in any of these funnels and everything else to be implemented, but that at some point, once I've made a genuine connection with people who I feel may be beneficial down the line for furthering my business, and who can help me in that area, once I've been chatting to them for a while and got some kind of rapport going, then I'll feel like I've got some trust, and then I'll pick who I want. Yes, who I want to take me down that route, if I want to go down that route later on to build my business portfolio. So yeah, that's the long game. So we're going to have a chat, and if he tries any hard sell, then he'll have lost his chance later on down the line to work with me. Simple as. But yeah, the ones that contacted me with the sale straight away, not interested. I've just completely gone, right, okay, that's where we're at, is it? That's connect. And then I'm like, is this standard on things like LinkedIn? Do you just connect so that you can pitch to people? Because that seems a bit disingenuous to me. It feels to me like you should actually connect with people who you think you may be able to do some work with later on down the line, but then not push that. Make real connections, see what each other's interested in, see what you have to offer before talking about any kind of collaboration or what have you. I might be wrong. Anyway, does anyone have any ideas or tips for the whole LinkedIn thing? Does anyone use it? And if so, what are the kind of protocols for that sort of thing? Is it literally just everyone trying to bag a client? Anyway, that's about that. So other than that, there's the geese. So they're being very noisy. They're not at the moment, they're being very good. I'm thinking I'm maybe not giving them enough greens. I don't know, this year they seem to be a bit more, I'm looking over there because that's where they are. They seem to be a bit more shouty for food. And maybe because they're another year older, they're wanting more. So I'm going to have to go and get more greens today, because I'm finding that giving them greens throughout the day makes them a little less noisy. The other thing is Marjorie's eye is virtually completely white now, so I think she's pretty much completely blind now in that eye. She's also incredibly nesty, broody. She's out of the nest a lot more now. I think what's happened is I've removed enough eggs that she's kind of given up with the whole nesting thing. She couldn't do anything anyway, they're both girls. But she just gets very vicious and noisy and loud, and, well, that's the same as noisy, isn't it? Just gets really aggressive and just sits on the eggs all day, all evening, doesn't really come out for food, and that's not good for her. So I got mean and took the eggs away. Anyway, I think that's a bit of a catch up for you on what I'm doing. Oh my goodness, there's a massive bumblebee stuck in here. Right, that's probably my cue to stop waffling and go rescue the bumblebee, isn't it? Yes, Pip. I also want to share the garden with you. Hello, goosies. So everything is flowering. Some of it is weeds. I don't care. They have flowers on. They're good for the bees, good for the butterflies. But these absolutely lovely Aquilegias. And look at these ones. So Jackie and I are going to do a swap of Aquilegia seeds. I've also got some seeds which I have sprinkled that Lorraine gave me. This is looking, is this a bit dry? Oh, yeah, that's very dry. Right, I need to deal with that. These are coming to an end now. This is all flowered. This one's all flowered. In fact, a lot of things could do with a bit of a water. These things all dry out really quickly here because they're not in a lot of soil. This is a big weed, but I'm sure it'll flower and do something. And then we've got all of the stuff under there in the shade. Some little grasses and things. These are like little lilies, I think. Lilies, can't remember now, but I think they're orange when they come out. And these irises, this is just beautiful. And I've got another couple of big buds ready to come out on those. This tree, however, despite the watering and everything, it just seems to be on its way out. And I'm not quite sure what to do with it or why it's happened. But I brought it outside and I just keep watering it and we'll see what happens. I might have given the geese a sprinkling, which they very much enjoyed, and they were grabbing the water out of the air. I just refilled their bucket and topped up their pond through there. And we did have a little robin down here somewhere. It was drinking water from the edges of the plants. Emma, do you have an infestation in your bush?
Yes.
Do you?
They are. I'm trying to think of.
Have you got cobwebs in your bush?
Hey.
But you get in the house and you like making
I've got larvae in my bush.
Larvae in your bush.
Which are hatching and developing and
destroying.
Multiplying and
yeah, they are definitely descending. You've got bugs descending.
And not in a pleasurable way.
No.
They are killing my bush.
They are killing your bush.
There are all of these, like, and I've tried to do it as humanely. I know this looks quite brutal for the animal lovers out there, but
you have taken them all off once, haven't you? And they've all just climbed back on again.
Once, and I made an epic fail.
You can always go and ditch them over in the corner of the track, and they can go into that.
I'm going to relocate them somewhere else.
Yeah.
I know that, and I've used organic stuff to try and repel them. But the reality is they're now back again, which means I've got to do something a little bit more.
Going for the harsh approach.
Well, I've got to, but like they're all sinking too quickly. I can't catch them as they're coming down.
And I've just added another element to that.
Yes, a nice and helpful onlooker.
Yeah.
Who I love very dearly and has managed to successfully get. Oh, what's that?
Yeah, he wanted it from Asda when I went to the garage.
There's a lot of that's also a thing that I'm glad that he's eating with you. Have you had one before?
Yeah.
He's going to try crabs while you sort out your bush.
I don't want to taste like.
Innuendo Central, isn't it?
I don't know what you mean, Emma. Right, I'm going to leave you with that and go and try and cook some food for your children.
I've taken that bulbous mound.
Oh, you've taken the bulbous mound
There
away.
will be another one.
Have you got any?
Look.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the context.
This is what she's tackling.
Like literally, look.
They've all hatched. Yeah.
And that is what, and I'm literally for people who are, I'm literally just doing that.
Yeah.
They could have the bit of bush. I'm being graceful that they are attached to.
And she's going to relocate them over there somewhere.
No, I'm going to go down the other side.
Are you going down the other side? Okay.
I'm going to take them out of smelling distance. But also the main reason for me doing this is I'm going to get told off by my mother because she's going to come up and tell me off for not looking after it. And I have tried.
Well, you can't help an infestation.